welcome back to the Groomsmen. I'll be your host, Jonathan. Today I'll be using Faskally. It's not the first time I've used this on channel, but I did finally get the matching splash and the EDP. They sold some on the Stirling site direct. I think they had some old stock from their last release last fall, so they had a few sets that were discounted, and luckily somebody saw that I was looking for it and they hit me up on Facebook and let me know that it was on their website, so I went and immediately bought some. I got it all whipped up here with my Paladin Brush. Nothing to cry about with Stirling soap. Their base is pretty excellent. My face is already wet. This is my birthday shave today, so I picked a scent I really like. This scent is a dupe of Tom Ford's Gray Vetiver. I did trade, before I got that aftershave, I had someone offer a trade for a used set of fine fresh vetiver, which is supposed to also be a dupe of the same scent. And it was like part of a puck of the old fine formula that was a hard soap, and it's currently discontinued, and then the half a bottle of the aftershave splash. So I was like, okay, sure. Traded him a set that I had that I wasn't using. I think both of us were happy with it. And then I got it, well, it leaked in the box. It happens. I would recommend if you're mailing splashes that you seal the lid with electrical tape. It works really well. It's not, the adhesive doesn't get stuck to the bottle like if you use duct tape or something, but it works really well. It keeps the lid from moving, keeps any liquid from coming out. Well, in this case, he didn't use that. I don't think we talked about it beforehand, but about half of the remaining splash leaked out, and it was inside a couple double wrapped plastic bags, so at least it didn't get all over the box. And then probably would have got confiscated by UPS or USPS, but I did lose about half that splash, so I got about a quarter of a bottle. I smelled it, and I was a little disappointed because I didn't think it smelled at all like the Faskally. I mean, they're both supposed to be dupes of the same. This is obviously the Rex Ambassador, my favorite razor. Best shave. Starting out on, we'll go a little over 3.5. I got the second use Shick blade in there. But yeah, I checked out the scent and I just wasn't, it was okay, but it wasn't as strong, or it didn't smell as good as the Stirling's Faskally. I was kind of surprised that they were even considered dupes of the same scent. They didn't really smell the same to me. I've not smelled the original Tom Ford, so maybe one is more accurate than the other, but of these two that I smelled, I much prefer the Stirling version. So luckily right after that happened, the Stirling version came out, or at least they had a few bottles for sale, and I got a bottle of the aftershave and the EDP at a discounted price too, which is cool. I know some people find the Ambassador very blade forward, and it's definitely blade forward, especially if you go up to the higher settings. It took me a while. When the first use I had, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this razor at all. I think it's too much for me. And I think I just had to find the right angle and the technique to use it a little bit different. It works better if you're more riding the guard and have a more of a straight version instead of riding the cap, which is a little counterintuitive to most DE razors and the standard kind of technique that everyone talks about when you're getting into wet shaving. 30 degrees, riding the cap and all that, which works most of the time. But I found that for more, I got that tip from Fayez, and I found that it works well with most razors that have positive blade exposure, a little bit more blade feel. But there were a couple times where like I'd use it, didn't really like it, put it away. I didn't sell it right away, obviously. I just sat on it, and then revisit it, and it got a little better. And then eventually something clicked, and then it was like smooth sailing after that. There's some hacks out there. There's a guy, he wasn't talking to me, he was talking to somebody else, but I saw the thread. I think it was on the Rex Facebook group. And he recommended adding a strip of electrical tape underneath the base plate. You stick it to the bottom of the base plate on the inside, so it thickens out the base plate and it adds a little bit more pressure, downward angle on the blade. And that does work. I did try it just because I was super curious, and that was at the time when I still wasn't sure about the Rex or about the Ambassador. So I did try it. I put some electrical tape on there. I put like a big strip and then trimmed off the edges that wasn't sticking out. Pretty easy to do, pretty cheap, and I already had electrical tape, so. And it works. It does change the angle of the blade just a little bit, so just a little bit more down curved, which makes it slightly less positive, and it made it a little bit smoother and only easier to use. Blade removal was slightly tricky because the blade liked to get stuck to that electrical tape, but not that bad of a deal, or not that big of a deal. I don't do that anymore. I did it for a little bit, and then I decided to take the tape off and clean the razor, and then I decided just to keep it off after I put it back together. When I tried it again after that, I think that had kind of enabled me to like perfect my technique with it a little bit, so then when I tried it the regular way again, I knew what I was doing. I know some people didn't like that hack. They just thought that I shouldn't have to do anything to modify the razor of that kind of price range so that it works to where they like it. They want it to be able to just work by itself, which is a valid point. It didn't give me any heartburn to use that little trick or hack or whatever. Someone else said you could also shim it with a blade that you took the edge off of, like an old blade, and then use that kind of a double stack blade to shim it. I have not tried that. As far as why I like the Rex, why it's my favorite razor. Number one, first and foremost, it gives me the closest shave of any DE razor that I have. Like BBS, but then a BBS that lasts longer than any other razor. I did dial it down for that. I'm at like a 1.5 to get this little spot right here. This is also the only razor that I routinely adjust mid-shave. I'll dial down in between my passes. Normally, like if I'm using a Fat Boy or anything like that, any other adjustables, I'll just find a setting I like and stick with it. I'm gonna go back up to 3. But with this razor I found, for my face, I get less irritation and a smoother shave if I kind of dial it down. Actually, I might dial it down 2.5. Your mileage would vary. I know Fayez uses his wide open at 6.5 the whole time. Scott has one too. He's currently doing a pass around with it. I'm not sure what settings Scott regularly uses. The handle is the best as far as like grip, like, and you could never like slip your grip on this. It's so secure. I do like the look of the console handle, the Rex console handle, a little bit better. I think the diamond knurling on that's super slick. But admittedly, the grip on this, and I'm not sure what they call this grip, but the grip on the original Rex handle is more secure, more grippy. Still expensive. If you haven't looked at the prices already, I think it used to be $250, and then, like everyone else in the current market, materials have gone up, labor's gone up, shipping costs and whatnot have gone up. I think the current price for the Ambassador is $295 for brand new. You catch him on the buy sell trade page every once in a while. He has a scratch and dent part of his website. Every once in a while, he'll have one on there, scratching like a return from a warranty or something like that, if somebody didn't like it. And it will have been cleaned and revamped and whatnot, and then sold on that scratch and dent site for a discount. So that's something you can keep an eye out. I actually bought my stand on there, on the scratch and dent site, the rec stand, for a bit of a discount. This Rex I won at on a raffle. I had two at one point. I had one that I traded for, and then I won, and I sold that to Scott because I won a raffle. Against the grain. Where are we at? I'm gonna go to 2. I was just at 2.5. I'm gonna go down to 1.5. Yeah, I like that better. I do find that as you dial down on the Rex, you're below like 2.5 or below 2, because of the change in with the guard coming up, it works better to ride the cap a little bit more than it does to ride the guard, at least from my experience. If you ride the guard, you kind of lose a little bit of blade feel because of that lowered gap, but then you find it again when you come out and ride the cap. I find on this setting, am I at 1.5, just a little over 1.5, that it has pretty minimal blade feel. You can still hear it, like it's still super efficient. I did dial it down to 1 right there. Just to pick up these spots on my neck. Kind of playing around with adjustments right now. I'm setting at a 2. Sitting at a 2. Yeah, I really like dialing it down to like 1 for these pickup passes. Makes it really smooth and I decrease any chance of irritation that I might get if I kept it a little bit higher. But even on 1, it's still efficient enough to actually accomplish the pickups. On some razors, like a 1 is kind of worthless. She cannot be beat. At least not yet. I tried a lot of razors. And this one is just... it's amazing. Superb in every way. I want a gold one. I might get this one plated in gold. I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm never gonna get rid of this razor. I love this razor. Excellent. All the way around. Excellent shave. I do a quick cold water rinse. I'll be back for the Faskally Splash. First time use for that. Alright, I'm back. Thanks for sticking with me. Faskally Splash, little 2-ounce. So you can hear, I have a fan going out above me in the attic. And like the dehumidifier fans that pull all the hot air in the attic outside. It's like squealing right now. I'm waiting for the repairman to come over and start working on it, but if you can hear that, I apologize. Had a little burn there. That's a good scent though. I like it. Might not be for everyone, but I dig the Tom Ford Gray Vetiver scent. It's got alcohol, witch hazel, aloe, glycerin, and hydrovance in their splash. I like it. It's a good splash. Smells good too. Some of their splashes, I find, don't last that long. I mean, it's an alcohol splash. It's not really meant to last like a cologne is. And some scents are kind of flaky. But I got some EDP. I'm gonna spray that on. I gotta put on a different shirt to go to work. But dang, that was a good shave. There's nothing to complain about. That shave just super smooth. Excellent razor. Rex Ambassador. Can't talk enough about it. Like, it's perfect. Hope you enjoyed the shave. I'm gonna go have probably a long day of work on my birthday, and then hopefully a better time once I get home. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next time.